Okay, so the U S State Department put out a warning to U.S. citizens traveling to China due to the fact that the Chinese government seems to be pulling U.S. and Canadian citizens off the street, harassing them, interrogating them, etc. So they put out an advisory that people need to use extreme caution when traveling to China. What's kind of ridiculous about this is, how are you going to protect yourself from the government of an enemy country that you're inside of, okay? Now, the truth of the matter is, although most in the U.S. ignore it, China is an ideological enemy of the United States and always has been since it's been communist, okay? So the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, what the State Department should do is put out an advisory that there shouldn't be any travel, if you have half a brain, to enemy countries such as China, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela. These are ideological adversarial countries that obviously, by allowing U.S. citizens to go to these countries, it gives these countries, the governments of these countries, the ability to grab up U.S. citizens and use them against the United States people, okay? So what I would suggest is an advisory of not traveling to countries that have adversarial ideologies against the United States, okay? But the point that I would also like to make is this. You have to give Donald Trump credit where credit is due, although I hope it turns out well. Essentially, Pan-Americanism is about two things: regional security and regional prosperity. So currently, although I'm not a big fan of Bolsonaro because he's a Zionist, the Trump administration is working or planning on working with the Bolsonaro administration of Brazil to promote regional stability in dealing with basically, again, ideological adversaries like Venezuela. And this hopefully will grow into, see, in my opinion, the use of the American Union should be used to pressure countries like Cuba and Venezuela and other countries to obey the frickin' charter and adhere to not violating human rights. Essentially, the concept of Pan-Americanism, the way it's accepted, is that countries will basically have the same human rights and everything that are set out in the United States, okay? So the fact of the matter is, the United States does need to start, and this is what I would also say, the United States, and I've said this in previous videos, the United States needs to disinvest from potentially enemy countries like China and invest in regional prosperity by investing in countries like Mexico and Peru and Chile and Guatemala, etc. Okay, this is not rocket science, but the basis of Pan-Americanism needs to be explored, and hopefully Trump will begin doing that, although the problem with Trump is a dyed-in-the-wool capitalist pig, and I have a feeling that will change the shape of the Pan-Americanism to support, as it has been, unfortunately, to support the exploitation of certain countries in the Americas.